Israel abandons plan to forcibly deport African migrants. Hello and welcome to Africa Live, only on CGTN. I'm Karen Roberts in Nairobi. We begin with the change of heart by the Israeli government with regard to African migrants. Israel has now abandoned a plan to forcibly deport African migrants who had entered the country illegally. In a written response to the Supreme Court, Israel says it was no longer pursuing that option. Instead, its immigration authority will continue to find options to deport migrants voluntarily. Well, earlier in January, President Netanyahu announced that he would deport or jail thousands of the asylum seekers. That plan was vigorously criticized by the international human rights community. The United Nations plan would have left half the migrants in Israel with undetermined status. Finding countries willing to absorb the other half also proved to be difficult. Migrants in Israel government cancels. Let's go over for the latest on these developments from Israel. We are now joined by Stephanie Fried in Tel Aviv on the line. Thank you very much for joining us. Quite a dramatic change of tact by Israel. What more can you tell us about the circumstances that led to this decision being taken?
We can, absolutely. It's a dramatic change. And it's less a decision. It seems it's more a result of African countries or third countries that Israel was trying to negotiate with to accept deportees, people in Israel who the government planned to deport, mainly Uganda and Rwanda, that those countries had a change of heart and decided that they couldn't comply with the request, Israel's request. There was a tremendous amount of criticism, as you said, Karen, by international human rights organizations. There was a lot of pressure. That's essentially what happened. Now, there were human rights organizations, a number of organizations, including Physicians for Human Rights, the Association for Civil Rights in Israel, and on and on. They petitioned the court, and now, with this dramatic change of heart, they put out a statement saying that they're against forced deportation. It should have never been considered in the first place. And they're calling on Israel's government not to look for another solution, another country to deport tens of thousands of Eritrean and Sudanese asylum seekers in Israel, rather absorb these people. That is what the human rights banded together, the organizations are saying. They're saying give them medical benefits, give them a right to work in Israel, basically find a way for them to stay. Karen?
Okay, thank you very much. That was Stephanie Fried there in Tel Aviv for us for that update on the change of heart by Israel over the deportation of African migrants.
Now, Israel's abandoned its plans to forcibly deport African migrants who entered the country illegally. The government was unable to find a willing country to take in the migrants, and thousands of mostly Eritrean and Sudanese men have crossed into Israel through Egypt's Sinai Desert. The migrants will again be able to renew residency permits every 60 days, and they were before the deportation push. Well, the U-turn's been welcomed by rights groups and the migrants who say they have fled war and persecution.
I'm very happy to see the deportation policy is cancelled, and now it is the right time to the Israeli government to give a solution for the asylum seeker came from Africa, a refugee status, or to answer their asylum claim application.